right, the Boxing Voice here with Al Bernstein. Now, Al, give us your breakdown of Canelo Alvarez versus Erislandry Lara.
Well, I think it's a very interesting fight. I mean, it's the very definition of a pick'em fight to me, anyway. It's funny, on most of the polls, fan polls, really are very close. You know, and I think it's a, you know, it shapes up, of course, as a boxer puncher, but not really, because Lara is a better puncher than people give him credit for, and Canelo has hand speed and technique that is probably better than he gets credit for. So I think the fight doesn't shape up as simply as some people would put it. It's going to be a very intriguing fight. A lot of it, I think, depends on whether Canelo can cut the ring off and do what Alfredo Angulo did against Lara, pin him on the ropes and land really good body shots and head shots. But Canelo doesn't do that. You know, that's not his stock in trade. So he's going to have to kind of change his personality a little bit to be able to do that.
What do you think their common opponents say about them as far as Austin Trout and Angulo?
Well, the irony is it says everything and it says nothing, because it's ironic. You know, Angulo fought very well against Lara, even though losing, but was dominated by Canelo. Austin Trout was dominated by Lara, but fought very well against Canelo. So it reminds us again that it ends up being the old cliche, it's about styles. You know, styles make fights, and really that is the case. Now, if you look at, let's say, Austin Trout being somewhat effective, he's similar to Lara, although not quite the fighter Lara is. Canelo didn't, well, Canelo really chose to fight him where he didn't pressure him. So the question is, does that mean he has trouble with boxers? I don't know, we'll see.
What do you think this fight says about Canelo as, you know, as a the face of boxing, choosing to fight one of the top contenders who many are avoiding? And you know, he's done so in his last 3 fights, taking on the pound-for-pound king. Angulo was a very, very respectable opponent, and also, as well as Austin Trout. What do you think it says about him as, you know, one of the big money makers? Yeah,
and remember, he was going to fight Paul Williams, another fighter that people avoided, you know, before Paul Williams' tragic accident. He ended up fighting Jose Cito Lopez, I think, at that point. But he's willing. Canelo, let's face it, coming up, he didn't fight the roughest competition. It was kind of orchestrated a little bit. But since when he got to the boxing center stage, he's willing to fight everybody. And I think it speaks volumes about him as a warrior.
I think we haven't seen that since maybe Oscar De La Hoya, who was doing the same thing early on. He wanted to take on the best. Would you agree?
Right. Oh, Oscar fought a very tough schedule. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Oscar, everyone that was available to him in his era, he fought them, and often twice.
So at this point, before we get into the fight, do you think Canelo has, in essence, lived up to the hype, or, you know, did his fight with Mayweather say more about it?
Yeah, I mean, he's only lost one fight, and that was to Floyd Mayweather, and I think strategically he fought the wrong fight. I think he lost that fight on the drawing board, because they clearly decided he was going to box the boxer, which is absurd when you're the biggest and strongest, youngest guy he's fought. You want to do everything you can to use your advantages.
All right, well, thank you very much, Al. Appreciate it.